When I was 12 years old, my daddy took me to the circus, the greatest show on earth. There were clowns and elephants and dancing bears, and a beautiful lady in pink tights flew high above our heads. And as I sat there watching, I had the feeling that something was missing. I don't know what, but when it was all over, I said to myself, is that all there is to the circus? Is that all there is? Is that all there is? If that's all there is, my friends, then let's keep dancing. Let's break out the booze and have a ball. If that's all there is. Welcome everybody to Nine's Corner. I just got back from a lovely swim. It is so refreshing. It is so, to get in the water and feel weightless is just such a stress reliever. And I can't believe at 50 I'm walking into the swimming pool and just saying, screw it, I don't care anymore, because I just need something to help me get back into some shape because, with the back problems and everything. So this has been feeling amazing. But when I got back, I noticed that there was a lot of comments on my last video, so I thank you very much. And there was one comment specifically from Sylvia Davis where she mentioned about Peggy Lee, and the song in the intro was, Is That All There Is? So she had a very interesting life, and there was a number of questions that I actually got from looking into Peggy Lee. So I'm going to leave that for the end of the video. So we're going to look into that, but we are just going to dive into everything that is Trump and everything that is kind of going crazy all over the place right now. It's like there's just so much information happening. It's hard to keep up with it all, but I have questions, so we're going to ask Taro. First, did Trump try to threaten Merrick Garland by saying, hey, I can cool down the waters, or what can I do to, get things to stop heating up? And I really feel like that was a threat to say, hey, I'm going to get my MAGA people all over you. And I just feel like, is there a chance that there's civil war? I hate that. I hate that terminology because I would not want that for the United States. But I just want to look into what was the purpose of Trump doing that? Is that an actual threat to say, hey, keep pushing, Merrick, and I'm going to push back with my people? Because he does have a cult, whether you like to believe it or not. He does. So what was the purpose of that? 100% he wanted to let Merrick Garland know, listen, I got the goods on a number of people and I'm willing to talk if you don't slow down. He is really trying to push two situations. Like we've been saying for years now, I think that there is the want to get Donald Trump, and I think we're on a really good path to that, especially Justice being the first card that came out, which is really funny. But I also think that due to Donald Trump's relationship, not just with Russia, but with Saudi Arabia, with, let's face it, Epstein and such, God knows how much information he has on people, and that's why he was able to get people to push back and not be as angry or as forthcoming as they should have been, is the feeling I get. And, every time you see it too, Two of Pentacles, that means there are delays. It's going to take a little bit of time. You might not be able to make the decision at this time. Or if you don't make a decision, you're going to be in limbo. It's that kind of a feeling. So I feel, again, Trump is trying to delay. That's his biggest tactic. Walking away and getting into smoother waters. Trump is cray-cray, guys. He truly is like, I would not be shocked if we found out that he's still trying to figure out how to coup and how to get into the presidency, because he's that far gone and that far into everything. Another Two of Swords. Oh my God. I think that, look, delay context, being that we're talking about specifically about Trump's threat to Merrick Garland. So it's a delay contact. It's a bullying contact. It's a mind tricked kind of contact. On top of it, this really is truly, this man is psychotic and truly believes in his own words. Like, you have to understand that anything Trump says, he's saying it because he believes it, or he says it enough that he believes it. So believe me, he's going to be out there touting, talking, trying to get this to be on his side more. And I guarantee you that's not the first thing he's going to be doing to Merrick Garland. I am really stressed about this when it comes to what is Trump willing to do to keep himself. I mean, he doesn't care about the family, but, by default, the family would, stay out of trouble. So the next question, the next question I had was about France, because they're saying there was papers there, the secure papers that were part of the secure papers that they got from Mar-a-Lago, that they had mentioned France and the president. And I don't think that Trump had a good feeling about Macron, and I don't know if it was a case of jealousy on Trump's part, that he wanted to know what was going on with France and Macron, or if it was revenge, because there's something really strange happening all over the world, but you can also see it happening in France and with Macron. And I mean, if he doesn't get in as the next president, and that female that is like the female version of Trump gets in, oh my God. You've got Germany and France, and they're all teetering there. So we got to put out our good wishes for them. But I would like to know, why did Trump have those papers on France? What does that mean? Was there anything behind that? Is it just that he's jealous, so he wanted to know, or was there some kind of revenge behind it, behind having papers on France? Let's have a look. He wanted to know everything about Macron, Macron's family, what Macron was planning on doing. He was very interested in his family, and I got a feeling that he did some investigation on him. Crossing it is the 9 of Cups. So I got a feeling that maybe Trump had requested something of Macron, that he thought that France was going to be a buddy in the beginning, and crossing it was, hey, let's be friends, but I have a favor to ask of you. This is the papers showing that Trump has the papers about him in the White House. In the past, Ace of Cups, so he had a lot of emotion, a lot of revenge on his mind. This is bizarre. 2 of Cups. On top of his mind was somehow he wanted to try to influence France. And I don't think he liked the fact that Macron had, basically thought Trump was a fool. Oh my God. Oh, wow. So here's Trump the fool. This is weird, guys, because you got the 2 of Cups there, so there's some kind of plan. I truly think that Trump was trying to get revenge. I think he tried to get somebody else involved so that he could work on this plan. Okay, seriously. We've got the 6 of Cups. This is Trump just, thinking about and constantly thinking about what Macron had done wrong, or how he wanted something and he didn't get what he wanted. In the looking out, France is looking at it going, my God, Trump is asking these ridiculous things of us and we're not going to give to them. But I mean, this is the United States. It became this thing. Trump used really harsh words and was trying to use legalities. I'm telling you, there's going to be information coming out. We've got the Knight of Swords rushing in. I think that there was something that was happening around Trump and France, but I think it was more revengeful. I think that he was trying to plan something, and because he's no longer in office, he wasn't able to continue that plan. I think somebody was trying to help him. I don't know if that might have been, Putin, or maybe even Saudi Arabia. Thank you. Oh my goodness. We are definitely going to be hearing information. It's going to be about money, asking for money, and death, not receiving. There's going to be a transformation here. Macron said no. And that transfer, seeing it from a different position. He felt like he had to sacrifice to stay out of the grips of Donald Trump. There's something here that they were looking from. It's like there's some kind of money. There's a partnership here. Trump was trying to rush in. I think people were like, no, you're rushing in too quickly. I think Macron caught on, and these are papers that are going to prove about some kind of money, some kind of asking for resource or money from France. And Trump is all over this, and this is going to come out, but it's going to be about France. So my next question, I can't help it because there was so much going on with Justin Trudeau when it came to Trump's wife, Melania. And they put out all those pictures. And I mean, it's pictures. You can't tell what somebody's intention is, just because a picture has her looking at him as though she hasn't seen a burger in 100 years. But so I'd like to know, is there any chance that Trump had papers about Canada, or more specifically about Trudeau? Did he check out Trudeau or anything of that nature? Was Canada involved in any of these legal documents, and will we find out about it? I mean, how much did he actually think about Canada? Really, right? I don't know. Ooh. Interesting. Whoa, I really wasn't expecting this. I think that he did have some kind of checked on about him or looked into him and, was like, I don't like him. Let me just get a clarifier. I really think that we're not going to be shocked or surprised if we find out that Canada, but if not Canada, Justin Trudeau finds his way in some papers belonging to Donald Trump. That's hilarious. Okay, next question is, will the Trump lawyer be charged for signing the document saying that there was no more any more papers, documents, or anything of that nature at Mar-a-Lago? And as we can see, it has been a continuous run of papers, 11 boxes counting or something like that. So let's have a look at the lawyer. Will there be will there be any charges against the lawyer who lied on the documentation, or will he just get away with it by saying, well, I thought Trump said that, so I believed him, and that's why I signed it, and whoop, a card just literally flicked out. He's going to jail. He's gonna be gone. His reputation's gonna be broke. He's probably gonna have to lose his... He'll not be allowed to practice anymore. This is complete destruction, complete ruin. I think he is going to be one of the many unfortunates, deplorables that will be thrown under the bus. So there you go. My next question is, did Trump and the Trump DOJ, the bad characters that follow Trump no matter where he may go, slushing through the sewer, did they have anything on Comey for Comey to come out with those emails about Clinton? Because now you're hearing a lot of pushback from Trump and co. and company saying, Hillary Clinton had information that was important and nothing ever happened to her, and the FBI are in there now, so they're going to be planting stuff. And I mean, you know, we could go on and on and on. But I just want to know, did Comey have did they have something on Comey to force him to put out about the emails during the election? Because, I mean, a lot of people will say that's why Hillary lost. So I want to know, did they have something on Comey or something like that? I mean, that's the biggest yes in the tarot card deck that I can get. Now, he's a smaller character trying to fit into a bigger man's clothes, so I got a feeling that there must have been some kind of discussion here. Ooh, yes, he defended himself. I got a feeling that he came out, said, we're concerned about the emails, and then a very short time after said, oh, there's nothing to see here. So he caused this kerfuffle. So I think there must have been negotiations where he was like, look, I'm not willing to go down the line of saying that there's something wrong and going on the attack of her, any of that nature. But because they did have something on him, he was willing to put doubt. Huge regret, huge, I mean, look, I think there's a possibility that his life was threatened, his livelihood was threatened, his money, his family, his fill in the blank. I truly feel that, yes, they had something on him. He wanted to keep his integrity while doing what he was being asked to do. But this completely destroyed him. It destroyed him mentally. It destroyed his career. It tarnished him for the rest of his life. I would like to know, had he not come out with the emails, would have Hillary Clinton won? Had Comey had not come out with the emails, would have Hillary Clinton won? Had he not come out with the emails, would have Hillary Clinton? I'm not even 100% sure because there's several things there. I almost feel as though the decks, there was no way they were going to let a woman get voted in as the President of the United States. They had more than one plan. They had 3 major plans to take her down. One of them being that if they couldn't get rid of her via Comey and trying to put out dirt on her, they would have hurt her. Wow. Wow. That's really interesting. So our last reading, we're going to read on Peggy Lee, who had a very interesting life. I was learning about her, and it was sad because she had abandonment issues. She never felt good enough, no matter how much success she had. And you know, when you look at success, she had great commercial success. She's the person who sang "You Give Me Fever." I mean, I remember listening to that, doing exercises with Richard Simmons doing the Fever song. She had been married 4 times, but it seems like her first husband was the love of her life, and to the point where he had gotten over his alcoholism. They were breaking up because they had a little girl together, and he was finally starting to get over his alcoholism. She was thinking about getting back with him. He ended up dying, so she ended up having like 3 husbands after that. They said she was into drinking and on a lot of prescription pills, and really created this pretend world that she could exist in. So it was a sad story overall. And I mean, it's interesting on the one hand that she had this amazing life that included being part of Bing Crosby and being very, 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 very comfortable with Old Blue Eyes, Frank Sinatra. Very comfortable. Like he was she was on his calling list that he liked to keep. And as far as they talk about her, that a lot of her issues came out in the way that, you know, she would probably be described today as a sex addict, because she was so desperate for love. So I have a couple of questions that actually came from learning about her. One is that she was cremated. So I thought it would be really interesting to ask Tarot, does it matter how we leave our bodies on earth? Does it affect our spirituality? Because some people think of burial, cremation, sending bodies out into bodies of water, and there's all kinds of different things. So I thought that would be an interesting question. Two, it came to my attention that Peggy Lee hated Barbra Streisand. I know, I'll give you a second to just sit on that, because that's just like, what? I was just like, what? But then I realized why she was jealous of Barbra Streisand. Appreciate. This was a woman who was so caught up in her own imagination, so caught up in drugs and alcohol, and just felt like she didn't get her fair, just rewards. I mean, she did songs for Disney, and I think it was Lady and the Tramp. And eventually, years down the road, she ended up suing Disney and winning for royalties. So both her and Barbra Streisand had gotten gigs at some Las Vegas casino place. Peggy Lee got offered $250,000. She was very happy about it. She took it until she found out that Barbra Streisand was getting $1 million. And from that day on, she hated Barbra Streisand. So I thought, Peggy, we need to look at your past, because she says that she was abused by her stepmother, her friends, and them say, no, that's not the case. She might have been ignored by her father because he was a drinker, and she lost her real mother, her biological mother, at 4, and then got a stepmother who probably ignored her as well. But she makes it out to be that she had this, you know, really harsh childhood, when the people around her said, no, that's not actually the case. And 2, I'd like to know, does she hate Barbra Streisand still? And was there abuse in her past? Let's just have an overall look. So first, I know I'm going on, but it's just exciting. First, I'd like to know, does it matter how we leave our bodies on this earth? Because when you think about it, burials have been the way forever. And now they're starting to go, you know what? Burials might not be the best way. It was against the law or against our religion however many years ago, but now we're running out of space. So now we believe in X, Y, Z, you know? They had their heyday of making money off people, and now they're running out of room, so they're trying to figure out what to do. I don't know. I think that's a man-made problem and not a spiritual problem. But let's just see what tarot card has to say. Seven of Wands. However you think about it, is how it will affect you. Oftentimes, we are inundated with other people's opinions, whether it be the politicians or the morticians or the religious people or your family or your friends. They all got their opinion. None of them are right and none of them are wrong. It's all about what is personally okay with you. What line, everybody has their value and their morality. Wherever that is for you, that's what it is for you. And whatever you do is right. Just do what's right for you and not what is right for others. Interesting. That was interesting. All right, so Peggy Lee. First I'm going to ask, do you still hate Barbra Streisand? I'm sure that all goes away once we slide over to the other side. It's really a very egotistical thing, and I can appreciate, it's not nice seeing somebody else make more money than you, but it's Barbra Streisand. Come on now. All right, let's have a look. How does she feel about Barbra Streisand? She really was hurt about how the imbalance of pay. I think at the time she felt that she had put her days and that maybe Barbra Streisand hadn't. And that she felt that her value was that of Barbra Streisand's. So even now she feels like there was an imbalance. She's looking at it. She's looking at, what did I get? Look at what I put into it and what I got out of it. Come on now. The Queen of Cups. She still has ill feeling about it. She still has ill feeling about it. This is, oh my God. Winning at all costs. When she said she hated Barbra Streisand, she honestly meant, I hate Barbra Streisand. I can't believe this. So this is the way she felt about her and still feels about her? How is that possible? Judgment. The cards don't play, guys. The cards don't play. If you listen, they tell you. She is still in the process of trying to recover from life. She has had her judgment day. She has risen above, but it's like she had so many issues that were so emotionally, spiritually grounded inside of her that she is one of those souls that takes a long time to process, because their thoughts, their feelings, their emotions, they're so confused. They're so emotionally draining. And like, I literally feel like life had a somewhat negative impact on her to the point where she needed to be helped even in death. I almost feel as though she's a little bit stuck. She can't get out of this. She knows she can. She knows that she won't be judged, that this is part of the process, but for whatever reason, she's going to take longer. She's going to be one of those people that take a long time to process. Everybody goes through on their own time. However, you know what I mean? We all reach certain levels of spiritual understanding, love understanding, physical, like all these understandings. And, you know, it brings you to a different level. And when your level is judgment, you're on a low level vibe, which means that you have a lot of work to do. And I wouldn't be surprised if she was sent back to do some work. So let's just have a look at her early life, midlife, and then when she died to see what was going on around her. Because it seemed like she was well liked, but then not well known, but well known in a celebrity type way. And it seems like she was looking for love by looking for love in the way of sex. So, you know. So in her early life, what was it like? I mean, I know she had a trained working father, but he was an alcoholic. She lost her mother at 4 and had a stepmother who she said abused her, but her friends and stuff said no, they never saw anything like that around. So she does have quite the imagination. And oftentimes when people create that safe world for themselves, it comes from childhood and childhood trauma. I just get a feeling around it. All right. Something that she didn't want, being put between a rock and a hard place and being asked something. I don't see this being the parents, but I do think that at some point she had something happen in her childhood that maybe it happened so young that she couldn't remember it. But it was something that she did not want, something that weighed on her the rest of her life. And there was something expected out of her. And I think this is part of what made her who she was growing up. She just couldn't help herself. She believed in love. She believed in marriage. But then we have the 8 of Swords. She was so caught up in her own story and her own imagination. She was caught up in her fears. She was caught up in her drinking. She was caught up in her drugs. She was caught up in her alcohol. She was caught up in her own thoughts processes. And there you got the King of Swords. So every relationship kind of went boom, 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 but it was of her own making. She caused it herself. She created the negative thoughts, feelings, and emotions because she had so much to offer. It's like she had these two people that existed. She had the show person who was successful, but then she had the inner person who just could not find the love they desired. But I don't even imagine that anybody could have given her what she actually needed, because what she needed is something that she lost in her early childhood. So at the end of her life, so emotional, so, God bless her, I feel as bad, so out of her mind, not knowing what to think, believing this, believing that, and having all these different options and just not knowing which one. Sometimes she'd hit on an option that worked for her. It's like she was a working alcoholic, you know, somebody who was an alcoholic, got up and drank in the morning, but still managed to go to work. And the ending card is the Three of Swords. So, I mean, obviously we know she died of a heart attack, I believe, or a stroke or something like that. So her heart just couldn't take it. But I don't think that this is just referencing a heart attack. I think we're talking about a broken soul from a very young age whose lesson was one that was really hard on her. And I think it's taken her and will take her time, because you have to realize that here she might be dead 20 years, but in it, you know, if you actually see that time is linear, it's not this past and present, it's all happening right now. That time is like a second. Do you know what I'm saying? So it seems like she's in review of her life and everything for a long time, but in actuality, time is long to us because we have it as a physical thing that we mark by a clock and a calendar, whereas elsewhere that's not the case. So it's not taking her longer than the norm. It's just there's something really significant that happened in her early childhood. And when I say that, I mean between 0 and 4, that I think psychologically damaged her for the rest of her life. So God bless you, Peggy Lee. I hope that you're getting the love and the acceptance, and that you are finding your way to joy, peace, and contentment. I really do. So my darlings, that was a lovely reading. I appreciate your time with me. As always, I have our unity candle lit for each and every one of us. And until the next time we chat, my dear friends. Oh, please like, subscribe, and hit the bell notification. And please go over and check Heart-Centered Tarot. Marina and I did a reading a week ago. I think it was like on Saturday. She is such a nice person. She lives in Calgary. So I'm hoping to actually make my way down to Calgary so we can meet each other for real and do some readings and stuff. So if you haven't checked out that reading, go over. She's really sweet, and I really enjoyed my time there, and I'm hoping to get together with her again soon. So that's Marina from Heart-Centered Tarot. So that now is everything. And until the next time we chat, my dear friends, cheerio and take care. Bye.